Welcome to Movie News Live. We're going to give folks a second to come in and get settled. And we're almost with you now. We may have a teensy emergency going on here. We may have a teensy bit of flooding.
What bug?
I am not sure if that is what is happening. There we are.
Christie's plumbing is being naughty today.
Yeah. I mean, this something's happening with the sink, but I think it's okay. So I might have to dash kind of quickly. Good to see you all. Welcome here. Uh Good to see you. It's Friday. I'm a little
Hello, hello. Hi.
discombobulated and I apologize, but there are things going on, so let's get to them. We
Sure.
missed you guys last week because of the holiday, but hopefully you had a good holiday and you're back with us now. Alonzo has also been taking care of his husband who had his hip replacement surgery. How is that going, Alonzo?
It's going gangbusters. Like he's gotten over the anesthesia faster than the first time. He's been more mobile than the first time as far as getting up and walking up and down the corridor with the walker and making his way around the apartment. And all told, it's been a much easier recovery. And so thank you to everyone who expressed their well wishes. He's doing great.
Yeah, I saw he had a picture on Instagram of being
Yes.
up and functional on his walker.
Yeah, he's out there killing it.
Exciting times. Okay, so there's so much going on. Let's talk real fast. Right now, as we speak, the Alec Baldwin trial is going on, and the judge just sent all the jurors home because there's been some like last minute surprise motion to toss out the entire case because there's some evidence about bullets that is new. New shit has come to light, as they
Right.
say in the Big Lebowski. So that just happened. This is, of course, his involuntary manslaughter trial in regards to the shooting that occurred on the set of this Western. He was holding the gun, and the cinematographer was shot dead, and the director was shot as well. So that is going on. And the armorer has already been convicted and sentenced and
I
is
believe that's true. Yes.
serving 18 months. But now this is his trial, but they're trying to get this dismissed. So that is happening. Yeah, good to see you guys. And Christine says smooth recovery wishes for Dave.
Thank
Alex
you.
says get well, Dave.
Thanks.
And Seth wants to know, can Dave turn off the lamp like Liza?
He's getting there. Believe me,
Yes.
Liza has been our great beacon and shining light throughout this entire process. If she can get new hips and still be as Liza as all get out, then there's hope for all of us.
Yes. Jesse and Matt also send good thoughts. Hello to you, Barbara, in New Westminster in British Columbia.
Ah,
Wonderful to have you here. Okay, so this week's, you may have already seen, we had a couple of reviews out there. Tim Grierson helped me while Alonzo was helping Dave. We have reviews of Longlegs and the first part of Horizon, but the second part of Horizon is now in peril. It was supposed to come out on August 6th. That is
yeah.
Horizon, colon, an American Saga dash
Dash
chapter
chapter
2.
2.
And so now that has been pulled. Have you guys seen part one? I went on the 4th of July and paid for a ticket and went to a matinee, and it was pretty crowded at 11:30 in the morning in my little neighborhood for a showing of a movie that has pretty bad reviews. So, but there are lots of very fervent people out there in the world who really like westerns and really like Kevin Costner and feel like we didn't get it.
Yeah,
So
I mean
now,
the well, the official thing from Warner Brothers is like we want to give the audience more time to discover the movie, which usually sounds like corporate speak whenever they say, oh, we want to let critics and audiences discover the film together, so we're not going to pre-screen it. Like it's usually bullshit. But in this case, because it is skewing much older than the average movie, like it's 50 plus, which is not a demo Hollywood necessarily ever aims anything at, and this is not a demo that runs out to the theater opening weekend like something that's more youth aimed. It does kind of make sense that they want to give maybe a little more time for people to see the movie, whether or not that means the film itself gets pushed back, whether part 2 becomes day and date on Max or premieres on Max, like who knows, because obviously even with people discovering the film, it's a trying to make it financially viable given how much it costs, even though Costner apparently put up a lot of the money for the production and the print and advertising. At some point they may just decide, well, this audience really is just going to watch it on TV anyway, so we'll just do it that way.
Which is totally not how he wants you to see it. He wants you to see in a theater
Right.
as the epic, deserving the biggest screens possible. So you get the sound and the score swelling and the thunder of hooves and whatnot. So and the vistas, the majestic vistas. He wants you to see it on the
But you guys
screen.
said he didn't shoot it in anamorphic, right? It is more sort of TV size in its aspect ratio.
No. It looks like television in its rhythms and in its sprawl, but it's shot like a widescreen
Oh, okay,
film.
gotcha.
No, it's television in terms of like the beats that it hits and the
Sure.
massive story it's trying to tell, and the fact that there is like a 5-minute montage at the end, which is essentially like
This
coming up
season
this
on
season.
Horizon.
Exactly. It's like people we haven't even seen yet and fistfights and fires. I'm like, wait, who's that? Who are these people? Why is this like bam, bam, bam? And like the rhythms of that are totally television. So that's what I mean by that.
Gotcha.
So yes, so that is that. So we'll keep an eye on that. So it's supposed to have been August 16th. That has been pulled. Chapters 3 and 4 aren't even done yet. So there's a whole lot that is in flux
I
there.
will see part 1 before we review part 2.
I was gonna say, do you plan on catching up with part 1?
If we're going to keep moving on with this, yes, I will do that.
I think we're gonna have to. And there's been a lot of
Wherever it is.
interest. There has been a really surprisingly large amount of interest, which is contradictory to how poor its box office has been and
Right.
its really terrible reviews. But people are like, our video is doing well. We have a lot of comments. People feel very strongly about this movie.
Well,
Interesting.
it's like Snakes on a Plane and Morbius. Just because people online are talking about it doesn't necessarily translate to ticket sales.
That's true. Our good friend Doug Arthur says, if part 2 gets canceled, will it be retitled Lost Horizon?
Oh,
Indeed. I think that's a good one. Inside Out 2 is now the highest grossing Pixar movie ever. It has made over $1.25 billion.
wow.
That replaces The Incredibles 2, which had been the previously highest grossing movie.
And it's nowhere near the end of its run. I mean, it's
Mm.
still topping the box office. So, wow, that's pretty impressive.
It is, I guess, because it is a known thing, in terms of, Inside Out was so groundbreaking in a lot of ways and so beloved. And this is kind of more of same, kind of building on that. It's not doing anything terribly different. So I think
Well,
also in a summer where we don't have anything else that's really been huge, like
I
there's
think
no.
that's a big part of it too. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, like, obviously this is Pixar has been to the sequel well quite a few times at this point. But for this to have outgrossed not just Incredibles 2, but like Toy Story 3 and 4 and whatnot. And obviously, I don't know what adjusted looks like, but nonetheless, this is a massive hit for them. And I think there is a certain lack of competition that is allowing it to do even better. Although, I mean, weirdly, like I thought, oh, well, now when Despicable Me 4 comes along, that's going to really kind of maybe take the air out of it, and maybe a little, but I mean, it would appear that both films are still going strong.
Yes, and there's so little that the whole family can go and see.
Mm.
The whole family can't go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I'll
Go
take
see
my
Robot
kid.
Dreams.
Yeah, go see Robot Dreams instead. So we are sort of in and out, Alonzo and I, the next couple of weeks, but of course we're going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine at some point.
Yes.
There's a screening. I'm going to go see it when I'm out of town. So we will be in different places, but we will make sure we get to that because that's one that I know you guys are all interested
Yes,
in.
I bought my ticket.
You did. Good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm trying to figure out when I can go and see it, but Nick wants to see it. So we will definitely get to it. We have a couple of big trailers were out this week. The Gladiator 2 trailer featuring everyone's favorites. We have Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal together battling each other in gladiator gear.
Haven't seen it. I mean, everyone's talking about it. I've heard about somebody talked about, oh, the anachronistic song choices. I'm like, it's a movie set in ancient Rome. Any song would be anachronistic unless it was like Gregorian chants or something. I mean, like, what does that even mean? But it is true though that the Colosseum did used to get filled with water for naval battles. So apparently that part is historically accurate.
Yeah, and Denzel's in it. It looks good. Ridley Scott keeps making movies.
Yep.
Going back to Gladiator now, which was of course one of his, key big Oscar-winning films. So that comes out November 22nd. We will definitely be reviewing that. And then the trailer for Agatha All Along is out there. That will be on Disney Plus on September 18th. Katherine Han gets to tear it up.
some cool folks in that one. Sashir Zameda, Patty Lapone. We're getting
Ooh,
Deborah Jo Rupp back, Aubrey Plaza. And apparently Agatha is helping out a gay goth teen, like sort of come into his witchy powers by sort of forming a new coven, even though she has lost hers.
fun. I like
Yeah,
all of that. I see
sure.
that Katherine Han, they have a different people filling in on Kimmel this week.
Hmm.
And so Katherine Han was one of the hosts this week.
Oh,
And she
okay.
delivered the Han Alog.
Ah.
And Camille Nanjiani was there this week. So I think anything where she gets to be a lead is very exciting. You know,
Oh yeah.
she's done so many great roles as a like a standout supporting player,
Hmm.
as a comic relief, as you
Yeah.
know, the smart ass. But when she gets to be the lead, what was one where she was trying to have a baby?
Oh,
Personal
uh,
something.
uh,
Private Lives,
okay.
right? Was it Private Lives?
I don't, I know what you're talking about. I don't think I saw that one. But like she was amazing on Transparent and like really got to do some really good dramatic heavy lifting on that show.
Yes, Brian, it really was Agatha All Along, and we're going to find out all about that in
Mm,
this series, which I'm excited to watch. Because we have some things that are wrapping up now. The Bear we've been doing on our Patreon, we're going to wrap that up in the next couple of weeks. The
yeah.
Acolyte wraps up soon. I'm hoping we can do Time Bandits.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would like to talk about Time Bandits. We thank you, Private Life. Thank you. Thank you, Urban Squirrel. That's a cute name. Yes, and I'd like to. We're going to definitely do coming up. I think next week, Time Bandits for was it great or were you eight? Because
Mm,
although it's Alonzo's turn, that's one I've wanted to do for a while because I
sure.
was eight and it was terrifying to me when I was eight. So we'll do that ahead of that series coming out on Apple Plus, and we will do Agatha. Lots of good
And
stuff coming.
Time Bandits co-stars something else we're talking about today. The legendary Shelley Duvall.
Let's talk about Shelley Duvall. Yeah, I was going to say that for last. But let's spend some time talking about the great Shelley Duvall, who we just learned died yesterday at age 75.
Yeah.
Alonzo, you met her. Let's talk about that.
I did. So I spent the late 90s running a film festival in Dallas called the USA Film Festival, and she lived in small town Texas with her mom, not that far away. So, and before I was at the festival at their annual children's thing, they had honored her for Fairy Tale Theater for her Showtime series. And so they had a relationship. And so I could literally just kind of get her on the phone and be like, hey, we're doing this screening. Would you like to come up? And she would drive, she and her mom would drive up for a couple days and do the thing. And so we screened this great Guy Madden film that she's in called Twilight of the Ice Nymphs, which I highly recommend if you've never seen it. It's great and nuts. And then in '99, after Kubrick died, she came up for a screening of The Shining. And
Oh,
just
cool.
the nicest person, like just a good old Texas gal and sweet, and just would talk to everybody. Like Dave always tells the story about how, like, before we were letting people into Ice Nymphs, like he was sitting inside the theater and she was sitting inside the theater, and she's like, "Want some popcorn?" Like just lovely, and such an amazing career. Like, discovered by Robert Altman early on, and was kind of his muse for a while in the '70s during one of his best periods. So like Brewster McCloud, Nashville, Three Women, Thieves Like Us, and then went on to like be a legendary showrunner. I mean, like Fairy Tale Theater was a big deal, and there were like bedtime stories and different sort of spin-offs of it, and that was like really quality kids TV in an era when like most TV was like shitty cartoons about toys, and bringing in really cool people, Robin Williams and Mick Jagger, and like folk to come in and play these sort of fairy tale characters, and had some stupid tabloidy shit about her in recent years because of just health issues she was going through, but like a champ, an all-star, one of the greats. Popeye, lest I forget,
Of
of her Altman
course.
period. And He Needs Me comes back, in Punch Drunk Love. Yeah, just a legend.
And a very singular presence, right? No
Yes.
one looked like her. No one
Hmm.
sounded like her. Although for some reason, I keep seeing her popping up in my feed and Instagram of her in Nashville, and I
Yeah.
keep thinking it's Mia Goth in Maxine. There's some similar features there, and they're built the same, but no one looked like her. And it's a fascinating kind of contradiction of a warmth and a sweetness and a vulnerability and an openness there, but also there's something sometimes unsettling about her presence, which we saw
Oh,
in The Shining for sure.
sure.
And of
Three
course,
women.
legendarily, the stories about what Kubrick did
Yeah.
to draw that performance out of her. Supposedly he was pretty
Abusive.
tough on her. Yeah, so we have lots of RIP for Shelley Duvall in the comments here. Jonathan saying hello from Houston. Still no power for 5 days after
I was
Hurricane
just reading
Burl.
about that.
Longest
So,
without power hanging in there. I'm so sorry to hear that. We have a couple of
hope you
folks
guys are
from
okay.
same, yes. And of course olive oil. Who else but her could play olive oil? And I
Yeah.
read in one of the obits about her that she was like, she had been teased when she was young and compared to olive oil and always thought it was a bad thing, but then like got this role and realized like, of course, this is great. Like who else could do this? So I think a lot of fondness and definitely of an era of filmmaking, as you mentioned, all the Altman collaborations and how he essentially found her.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a queen of the new Hollywood of the 1970s, and her memorable appearance in Annie Hall, of course.
Yes. Oh, David Leman, thank you very, very much for your kind donation.
Oh,
David says,
thanks.
Christy and Alonzo, what did you guys think of the We Live in Time trailer? I liked it more than I thought I would, and the Gladiator 2 trailer less than I thought it would. I have not seen it.
Me neither. Maybe you're new here. I try not to watch trailers whenever I can. I like to go into movies knowing as little as humanly possible.
Yeah, for sure. And there are just so many trailers coming out now for things that are going to be important in the fall. So we missed all of that. And then one quick thing I know Alonzo wants to talk about is there's going to be a Hallmark streaming service.
Yes, well, there is one now called Hallmark Movies Now, and they haven't really put a lot of time and effort into it. Like they've done a few cooler things of late in terms of like they'll premiere movies there before they air on the network, but now they're really going full bore into the streaming world with Hallmark Plus, and they are going to be launching new reality shows there. They're going to be doing original content there as far as films and stuff goes. It's a whole. It even kind of ties into like the card company where subscribers will get monthly discounts on greeting cards and that kind of thing. This is kind of a big deal because Hallmark has not always been the first to like latch on to new, technology and whatnot. And even though they're kind of the last non-sports, non-news cable channel that gets any kind of numbers, those days are winding down. And so this, I think it seems like a really smart way to kind of launch themselves into the streaming space without giving up on cable, but at the same time acknowledging that cable is not forever. And so, yeah, so it's kind of a big deal. And, they also are still maintaining their relationship with Peacock, which has, I think, brought a lot of younger viewers to their shows and their Christmas movies and their other movies during the year. So, yeah, they were for a long time their old CEO used to print out emails. Like that was how bad they were about like not keeping up with stuff. So I think this is taking them into the future. And I want to see a show where Luke McFarlane helps people renovate their houses. I mean, I'm only human.
Wait, so they already have so much content, right?
Yeah.
Like, will they put it all on this streaming service, or will it still exist on the Hallmark Channel?
I think both. Like for example, right now they're doing Christmas in July on Hallmark Channel, so it's like wall-to-wall Christmas movies during the day anyway. I think at nights it's still like Golden Girls and Reba reruns, but they put a Christmas in July section on the Movies Now streamer that's like more than 100 titles, which is more than they've ever done. And so like they're really, I think, trying to drive traffic in that direction. Look, CNN Plus couldn't figure out how to be in cable and on streaming at the same time, but I think these guys are going to be really smart at it, because what's going to happen is you're going to see shows and movies launch on the streaming service, and then like 4-6 months later, they'll pop up on the channel. And so it all kind of feeds each other. Exactly.
Incentive to pay for that extra thing, right?
For sure.
Interesting. Well, you're the expert, so I'll be curious to hear your thoughts as this
I'll keep
goes
you
along.
posted.
Please, when is it launching?
September.
Okay.
They just announced it yesterday at TCA.
Okay, so plenty of time to like ease into Christmas there. Going back to Shelley Duvall really fast. David Leman, thank you very much, asks, what are your thoughts on the interview Dr. Phil did years ago with Shelley Duvall? I thought never should have happened. I don't remember what this is.
Yeah, it that was the thing I was referring to.
Oh.
The was sort of it smacked of exploitation, and from all I can tell from other people talking about her and what her life has been like of late, she like maybe she's had a few tough patches, as do we all.
Sure.
But generally speaking, lately apparently was great. And there was a long interview with her recently that some magazine or newspaper did, and it seemed like she had her stuff together and was like interested in still working and that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel bad that anybody tried to take advantage of her at a one of her not great moments. But Dr. Phil is a piece of shit. I think we've established that over the years. Yeah.
All right. This is like a good place to end on because I need to go check on my sink.
Please do. You're making me more nervous over here.
Yes. We'll have a couple more reviews for you today. We're going to talk about Fly Me to the Moon, and we're going to talk about Sing Sing. So keep an eye out for those, and then just trying to piece it together over the next couple of weeks as we're both traveling and running around. So thanks for being here as we are juggling. We appreciate you so much for your time and your support and your insights in the middle of the day. And I hope you have a great weekend, guys.
Yeah.
And let us know what you've seen or liked lately. And if we did not get to your comment or question, please put it down in the comments and we will get to it eventually.
And hey, mark your calendar. I'll be in Nashville on the 24th at the beautiful Belcourt Theater, which has been one of our indie theater of the weeks, screening Last of Sheila and doing a book signing for Hollywood Pride. So if you can be there, please do. It'd be great to see you.
Say that day and time again.
July 24th. I think it's starting at 7:30.
Great. Cool. We'll put it in the community page. We have our community tab of all of your places to be. So go check them out. Alex says, Alonzo, we love you in all caps.
Oh, thanks.
So
I love you too.
Yeah, so sweet. All right. Great weekend, guys. I'm sorry I'm like distracted girl right now, but
Go.
I appreciate your time. We'll see you soon. Bye.